the little speakerphone. Yeah.
Speaker thing.
So
Yeah.
the intercom.
The
intercom.
intercom.
Yeah.
That's the. Thank you. Somehow I forgot that word.
Yeah. Shit.
So if a judge signs a warrant that is fucking bullshit, right? Then it's the judge that gets held accountable for their actions. If the DA's office signs something that's extremely stupid, right? They get accountable for their actions. And PD, right? That's what we all agreed on our meeting with PD High Command, right? And the chief of police was not there, was not present in the PD DOJ meeting, right? Um, so I think that he was just not aware of it. Even if he wasn't aware of it, I feel like common sense is don't fucking sign a warrant without a judge's signature, but whatever. It is what it is. You can kiss our ass. It is what it is. Now, in terms of,
well,
we want to establish a good, we need to establish a good relationship with PD. So I'm not going to be, not going to be rude, not going to be toxic, but
it was getting toxic. And honestly, I felt
Yeah.
bad for Abijah. Like, it was awkward sitting there, like somebody was getting a little bit in their feelings on how they were responding, and it was not professional. And
Right,
Abijah,
right.
he's super soft spoken and just kind of let it go. And he tried to reel Richie in a little bit. But it's just like when two people that view themselves as alphas, which would be Richie and the chief, are in a disagreement. They're both going to be right. They're both the type of people to talk over other people in a conversation. And I was just thinking, like, well, if Richie was the approval for the warrant, Richie wanted me to sue him. He wanted me to sue PD because the conversation that he overheard was, well, if it doesn't get signed, the worst it'll come down from this is a $50,000 fine. Fuck it, we'll pay it. We're going. And as far as I'm told, the warrant was not signed until they were already on their way to execute it. Now, my involvement in this was I was called for a cell call. They said they were executing a warrant and were ushering them out. And I had already told Richie when I went down, I said, hey, I have a client with a commitment. I can't be down here extended. So I declined to go with the client during the search. However, while they were on the way before obtaining a judge's approval, the judge put notes on that said their representation must be present. So I was never aware that that was signed because it was after they had already left. Because if I had been told, as much as it would have got me in hot water with someone else, I would have made sure I was present for the search. It's just like PD felt like we're dictating what they do, and I understand maybe the way that Ricci is a little more blunt. He was, the recent Ricci was a little blunt with how he told them about how they were fucking up on something. I just don't think that went over well, and sometimes I think he was a little more vinegar than honey as far as like, this is why you're doing it wrong. Let me explain it. Like, you're a fucking idiot. Why would you ever do it that way? I think some happened. And now, to be fair, that's because he was frustrated with all the egregious mistakes that are made there, and the lack of accountability, the lack of him being allowed to criminally prosecute anybody in PD. But two wrongs don't make a right. It doesn't justify his actions. I just understand. Uh, so, uh, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a big headache for Chief Justice, and I don't think just appeasement is the way to be like, well, they're mad at us right now. Let's appease them. No, I will, until I see it change. I know for a fact most officers steer people away from obtaining counsel in sales. Now, whether it's outright or whether it's in between the lines, um, they steer them. And I've heard it firsthand, like, do you really want to get an attorney? I'm cutting you a really good deal here. And just in the presentation of that removes us from a lot of involvement over there.
Right.
Yes.
Hey, for that warrant, it's the report number, right? Not case number?
Yeah, report number.
Perfect. If you want to just update that real quick, I can sign that.
Shit, my bad.
Just
No worries, you're good.
catching up with all the bullshit. No.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, I knew this whenever my grandfather appointed Abijah as Chief Justice.
It has
I
been
knew this
done.
was coming. There was a time coming where we're gonna have a lot
Alright,
of
did you
stuff
want
that's
that
like
sealed or not?
moving up,
Nah,
and he's
it's
gonna
just a
get
Alright.
regular warrant.
It will
Abijah's gonna
be
get
done shortly.
Okay, thank you.
full stack
welcome.
of paperwork of approve or denial, and he's just gonna approve, and that's fine, right? But there's too many things changing too fast. I shouldn't be gone for 3 days, 4 days, and then a whole different way we do things are in place. Does that make sense? There's so many things changing, so many laws being
I
put in place.
understand, and it's because there's a one-sided approach, and I think this is something that is a shortcoming of us is availability by people other than Abijah does make himself
Mr.
pretty
GL,
available.
What's happening?
if someone's doing something civil, and they're a public defender, if they're invoicing for like a meeting fee or something like that, would they invoice through the DOJ or just through their account?
They would invoice through the law firm.
Yes.
Oh my god, did I do that? I am so sorry. I don't even know how I got on this video call.
Oh, yeah, hi, I'm driving
yeah, I
or
can
attempting to
see.
drive.
The law firm
Hey,
20% range.
I'm
Hi.
so sorry. I'm
they
gonna
want
let
to
you
keep
go.
that 20%, they should probably add 100% to their fees.
There you
If
go.
they don't
Thank
care,
you.
yeah, if they don't care, then you know.
Yeah, I can't.
Alright.
I can't add 100% to my fees. I'm pretty sure at least 40% of DOJ's bank account.
Right. No, but
I
yeah,
mean,
there's too much shit changing. Too much shit changing.
it's availability here because we don't have anybody in DOJ that is as invested in their presence here as PD.
Right.
That's a fact. That's undisputable fact. There is not availability like that. So I think that encourages a little bit of unilateral action where they're like, well, this just needs to get done. And I personally hate fucking emails, but I feel like there needs to be more hand in hand because otherwise it will just come to a point where, like, sure, let's say we never go there. Well, what happens when they're like, well, we're never going to win a case? Judges are always going to find in favor if people plead not guilty. Then essentially, what are they doing? Right? They're going through half of it, but nobody's actually serving time. So there should be hand in hand on that. I don't know where we start to resolve that, but it's starts with a lack of involvement from officers there, and it goes up to they don't want to be in court. And I've heard that in a courtroom, recent trial, from the officer that was the main person on the other side that says, I don't even want to be in here. That's something that we can't shut down. PD needs to shut down. When they get hired, part of your job is being the accuser that the person you're trying to send away can face in court. Like, that's just part of it.
Right.
Is it going to happen all the time? No. Is it going to happen some of the time? Yes. Factor 20% of your time is going to go into court. The more speedy trials we get, I feel like that will garner us a little bit of favor with PD. But unfortunately, there's a lot there that I don't like. Have the mentality of if somebody's cooking properly, it's not a justification, right? Well, I know they did this illegal thing. Like, yes, to be a little uncouth. Yes, we all fucking know, right? We all fucking know. But if somebody comes into the courtroom, and I had one with Cassandra the other day, they talked about how they have cleaning chemicals. They had a flyer for their house renovation business. So fucking lootly, that person has been in the courtroom. They've been in sales. Absolutely, that should be found that way. That's rewarding people for doing that. That's not just going in and saying, I didn't do it. Cops are jerks. They abused me, which is half the people, right? So,
not to mention half of the people that don't even take it to court in the first place. I don't understand it. It's not like 100% of criminals are pleading not guilty, right?
I'm always happy to be part of the solution, but that involves both sides. Like, we can't just solve it on our own. PD can't solve it on their own. A good example was a court case where we discussed with Judge Cole as well, where we discussed they can do Terry frisks now.
Yep,
And
I do my work.
If
Gio,
officers,
where are you?
I'm in the front of the court house.
Oh, okay.
if
Miss Cole, do you still want me to shadow you, or do I need to shadow someone else, or? Okay, yeah, I'll continue with Gia then. Just sorry, I have more
I
time
made her
with
do a
it.
paralegal exam earlier today.
I appreciate
Okay.
you so much, though. By the way, for helping me out.
all right, so this was a case of where Officer Scarn was getting a little bit heated in the discussions, and I think I calmed him, and we ended up with a rational discussion of where they have a functional Terry frisk. So an officer just looking in somebody's pockets for a Terry frisk is not a Terry frisk anymore. They're searching you at that point. It's a process they run through. It gives them a document that they should be able to produce in court as well that says, that there was something dangerous on them. And I said, well, what I want this to be careful of is, if I'm a law-abiding citizen and you detain me, you say, hey, do you have any weapons on you? I have the opportunity to pass those over to you. As long as I'm a law-abiding citizen, I hand you whatever could stick, poke, prod, or shoot you. You run your Terry frisk. You give me, you hold on to it till it's done, and you're not violating my rights. And I said, what I worry about as an officer using the Terry frisk is a segue into a full search, and then all of a sudden a detainment. You were just fishing to find drugs in somebody's pocket. And we had a very good conversation about that. And I felt like we left and nobody was heated and it was good. Got a little heated in there, but he showed me. I did not know the Terry frisks were put in place. That's the type of cooperation I think that's beneficial to all of us. And I don't know how to get more of that, but whatever I need to do, I'm always willing to do that.
I will
I think that's important.
I don't know if all that information got relayed because I did have a bench trial where they did a Terry frisk knowing that the guy had a bat on him, and Terry frisked him anyways, knowing that it would allow them to fully search him.
Did you toss it?
Well, no, because he had other weapons on him that would have also been found, and that was the only reason. And I made it very clear to the officers that if someone says, hey, I have a bat on me, you have to let them relinquish that item so that it doesn't expose them to further search and seizure.
And this is just a basic training thing that they got to start covering in academy or their roll calls or something where it's just like, hey guys, we got to be careful that we do this by the book so criminals don't get away. So if you want to Terry frisk them, ask them and let them hand it over first, then run your Terry frisk. Because they shouldn't have a gun. You got them. You've got them right there. Good. You got your arrest. But if they are legal, then you're not violating any rights. And if it does lead to something, it's not going to come into question in court. We can ensure we put them away for the amount of time that's appropriate.
Right. So no, the big thing that I wanted to push for this year, right, was I don't give a fuck about the little tiny little irrelevant officers in LSPD. All I care about is the high command. That they need to do their due diligence and relay that information down to their colleagues, right? But as long as DOJ has a good relationship with PD high command, that's all that matters. As long as we get consistent meetings with the high command, tell them, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is what the judges are going to do whenever we see this in court. If they're okay with it, then that's fine. I had an officer who crashed out on me for a $5,000 damages civil suit. The max amount that I confirmed with PD High Command, the max amount that they were wanting realistically, and we're talking about systemic wise for the economy and stuff, they said 15,000 would be pretty consistent. We can consistently give out 15,000 of damages, right?
Which, by the way, that dude got mad at you and wasn't even the one who was getting in trouble.
Oh yeah, no, he was not getting in trouble. It was the department. Yeah.
The issue with that, and this has to be relayed, and I would like to be involved in some of these, because my presence is no insult, no slight to anybody, but I feel like I'm able to fly in more than most. And something that like the chief needs to understand and the commissioner, lowering your payouts is not the proper corrective actions. Holding officers accountable is the corrective actions. We don't say we're going to break the economy, let's lower what we pay out. We need to say we need to get these officers that are opening us up to this exposure either retrained or they need to find another career path. And I know that's tough, but that's the way it has to be. And I believe they would want to see it that way. But it's, like after, I was falsely imprisoned, immediately dropping the max payouts sends the wrong message. It sends, we know we're going to be liable, so let's reduce what we're paying out so the attorney general doesn't come down our necks about messing up the flow of money in the city.
Right. I'm talking about settlements. Sorry.
Oh, is the settlement as far as
like
there should be no cap.
trial.
The cap on a settlement should match the maximum if it can be a good attorney, if they can prove that. That's between the district attorney and whoever's bringing suit.
Right. But either way, right?
Dang.
At the end of the day, right?
You're back. Perfect. Come with
The lower irrelevant officer is going to crash out. I do not give a shit about that. I know that
Aaron,
the
if you wanna come
payout
with me
is
for the rest
okay
of
with
training, you're more
in
than
terms of
welcome to.
in terms
Oh,
of
sure.
relationship with PD, right?
All right. Let's.
PD High Command is. Okay
I
with
wasn't
the
sure. I
$5,000
mean, if you
payout.
want to sit and if you want to stay there and talk with them, that's fine too.
As much as I love the gossip, I do want to show that I'm interested in learning.
Hell yeah! All right, we're just gonna go upstairs.
To reiterate, I fucking love the gossip, but I do want to learn.
All right. So for you, Aaron, in the Judicial Standard Division, there is a tab for paralegal training. That should be completed by a judge. A lot of it basically goes over everything in the checklist, and that's kind of our role in training, and then we just sign off on your checklist accordingly. Mr. Guillermo, did I say it right?
Gumaro.
Am I getting Gumaro? I'm so terrible. I have just a terrible accent. I'm so terrible at this. I apologize. I try.
Just be warned, we're both white bitches.
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta learn how to roll your R a little bit.
I genuinely, I physically can't. I can't do it.
Go roll, roll your boat. Sí, Gumaro.
Gumaro.
The shoe got it. Hell
Gumaro.
yeah.
Gumaro?
The shoe no got it. Shoe no got it.
I
No.
have to make like a K sound. Gumaro.
Gumaro.
Ugh.
Oh, Jesus.
Do not do that.
You need a Listerine for your throat? Jeez.
God.
I'm really bad at it, okay?
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. We'll practice it. We'll practice it in private.
No, we won't.
Okay. Cell calls.
Oh my goodness.
So usually the things that I do is I do like a nice little tour with them. I usually do that the day that I hire them if I have time. The things that I try to do before I release them to go shadow is the cell calls and courtroom kind of proceedings. So cell calls, I know you've done at least one, correct?
Yeah, well, that was with me, and they kind of,
I did a two with her, but it was como how you say a cheater, and then I did
no, it
two with
was
another guy.
the guy who fapped into the fucking.
Oh, gross. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
A cheater guy. Yeah.
so as far as basic things to know about cell calls, the first rule I always go over, and you'll hear it multiple times, is it should not last more than 15 minutes. That is not to limit the rights of anyone down in the cells. It is to help make sure that everything is happening speedily. If you find yourself arguing with the cops over charges or arguing with your client, whatever it is, if there is discussions that should be happening in front of a judge, we should get it in front of a judge, whether that be with a speedy trial or whether that needs to be with a full-on court case. Sometimes, the officers, they're doing their job as far as enforcing the penal code and the laws that they have, and they are intending to charge the suspect with what they believe they have evidence for. However, the DOJ, we know the law. We know how the law would be applied. And so sometimes you have a better understanding of what laws would be applicable. So if you have reason to believe that the charges that are being placed under your client are not accurate and should be changed. Sometimes the officers will play ball with you and change them. Most of the time they won't. And if they won't, that's when you can talk with the prosecution's office, the DA's office. They might be able to negotiate with you. And if they're not available or they're not willing to, then bring it in front of a judge and argue your case. You don't necessarily have to make your argument down in the cells.
Dímelo. So, I see a key, it show, you got assault with a deadly weapon, but you got then attempted murder of a public servant. Every officer in their madre is going to say, oh, he had a pistola, he had full intention of killing me. Pero, I mean, is that the letter of the law that we are going with, Aki?
It all depends on how you want to make your argument in court. If you think you have a valid argument and a way to tell the story in a way that adds reasonable doubt to the charges, then you have every right to take it to court. It's really all up to you. A judge is never going to tell you that this is a stupid case and shouldn't come to court. You may have the DA's office saying that. They may try to dismiss the charges, but at the end of the day, if the judge is willing to see it in court, we can take it to court.
But so, I mean, I don't know if you can tell me, but like normally, have you seen anything happen with the assault with the deadly versus the attempted murder? Have you seen something recently?
Not necessarily. I mean, it just all depends. Again, the cops, what they want to push as far as the charges, what they add, and then how the DA's office will kind of frame it. It really just depends. If someone is shooting at officers and knocks them down, they may charge with, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I understand, I got the burps too sometimes.
She got that dog in her.
Sí, claro.
That perro, I think is what you said?
Sí, perro.
Perro.
Yeah, I was learning. I was listening. I inferred.
El perro es
You just gotta roll the R.
Oh no.
Okay. That's very white of you.
Yeah, like I said, my accent is terrible. I try. I get nervous.
It almost feels racist to try and make myself have an accent.
No, what you mean?
No,
it's a compliment that you're trying.
Speak. And then when I was younger and took Spanish, my teacher said that I spoke Spanish with a Southern accent. I am not from the South and don't have a Southern accent, as you can tell, which was very demoralizing. Yeah. As
a person who's from the South and knew Southern Mexican people and Spanish people, it is a telling thing. I do know what they're talking about, and it's really funny.
Yeah, it was very sad. I was very upset. I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna work on it specifically for you.
Muy bien.
All right.
I got some extra Rosetta Stones if you need it.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll work on it. I'm trying to learn more Spanish. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get better.
Muy bien.
I mean, to be fair, attempted murder and assault with a deadly weapon, I feel like the assault with a deadly weapon charge is kind of vague. Assault with a deadly weapon literally covers attempted murder by saying that it's something that could cause death.
See, the difference is the intention. Pero, I mean, everybody, in my experience, in the pasito, in the past, everybody say, oh, porque he have a gun, there is intention, porque when you aim your gun, you aim to kill. So every policia is going to say, he have intention, he's attempted murder me. But some places, they say attempted murder is if you end up in the hospital, you go in a coma, that means they attempted to kill you, but you survive. So it's different in every, place.
Honestly, how it's written in the penal code, the officers have a liberty to press it kind of either way. But again, how you argue it in court would be how the judge would rule on it, right? So if you can give reasonable doubt that it's attempted murder, then you could give reasonable doubt, and that could change the way the judge rules. It's really just kind of depending on how you want to spin your story.
Yeah, it's an argument game at the end of the day, and so if I was presiding over a case and you very much described a situation that fully encompassed this specific charge, but gave a very, 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 very good reasons to why it should be a different charge, I would consider doing that other charge, because at the end of the day, if you make enough sense as to why it should be this instead of this, or it should be dropped, or blah blah blah, that's what it's about. You're supposed to. Your whole job is to figure out how to get that to change.
Sí, sí, claro.
Yeah. Now that may be completely stupid and wrong of me, in which Miss Cole, I would hope that you would tell me to shut the fuck up. But
Nah, you're good. You're good. Is the other thing to know in a jail, like a cell call, besides that, like everything that we're talking about, is the different options the client has. They always have 3 options. They can plead guilty, and that's kind of where you work your magic to try to reduce the time that they actually serve in prison. Whether or not you argue about some of the time served, versus being cooperative and try to get months off their sentence, all of that is great. The prosecutors can also help with negotiating the times down. But the thing to note is the officers stop providing time served once the suspect requests a lawyer. So if you are the only lawyer around and someone needs a cell call and you're up in Polito, you just want to let the officers know that it's going to be a minute for you to get back down to MRPD, so that they can advise the client whether or not they want to just plead not guilty and do a lawyer request, or if they want to wait for you, because once they ask for you, their time served stops.
Okay. Dímelo. So they say, they be there, they go to the hospital, they go in the cell, they give them some time. Let's say it's like 10 months, 15 months. Then they ask for the lawyer. So then they already served 15 months, you're saying. But if they take another 15 months waiting for me, it's still only 15 months?
Yeah, exactly. And that's all up to officer discretion.
Okay.
Right. So if the officers really want to play hardball, they don't necessarily have to give anything, but how long it took them to get to asking to you, that could all be something that you could maybe leverage to get time off, or say, hey, the person's been really cooperative, whatever you can do to help get the time down, you absolutely can do.
Okay.
client-
Dímelo, I gotta.
Uh-huh.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So, for example, Grand Theft Auto is a felony, see?
Mm-hmm.
So, dímelo, can somebody do a non-violent felony, they lose their gun license?
Yes, I believe so. If they have a felony charge, then they will get their weapons license revoked.
Okay, so no matter what felony, put a non-violent, it's per todos.
I feel like, let me double check. I think Grand Theft Auto includes a violent versus
I mean, Grand
just.
Theft Auto could be just,
I don't think
breaking
so.
into a car with a lockpick, you don't gotta hurt somebody.
Grand Theft Auto is just Grand Theft, but on a vehicle.
See?
So interesting.
And also, I just want to
Okay.
point out, Grand Theft literally says the unlawful taking of someone else's property or money that exceeds, quote unquote, a certain value threshold. Why is it not listed as an actual value?
It's a great question.
I guess you get 5 for it.
But yeah, so, and again, that is something that I swear, I'll have to check the Excel sheet to see if there's some discrepancies between what's in the MDT and what's in the penal codes listed.
look
Yeah,
at it right now.
I look at the spreadsheet
Okay,
keep
perfect.
porque I cannot use it that.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. But yeah. So
What are we supposed, like, when I'm an actual attorney? Is the tablet aquí the source of truth, or is the spreadsheet?
so they the goal is they should match. The penal
Sí,
code
claro.
spreadsheet is what we try to keep updated to make sure that everything is accurate, so that people can access that if they're not actively in city, if they're working on stuff. But they should be the same. There are some discrepancies that I've noticed, and I will, depending on what the discrepancy is, like for example, there was a felony obstruction charge and a misdemeanor obstruction charge. In the MDT, it's the exact same wording. In the penal codes, there is a difference whether or not there's like violent crime or violence attached to it, which is what would make it a felony charge. And so I went with what the penal code in the Excel sheet said because that's what I had access to, and why I made my ruling that way.
And sorry, I got so many freaking questions.
There's all
The other day, I do a cell call. I forget the attorney name, but you're a good guy. Mark it down. It's okay, forget. But somebody get a charge with a grand theft auto porque the officer see that the person step out of the vehicle, see? But grand theft auto say unlawful taking or theft of a motor vehicle such as a car or motorcycle without the owner consent. Pero, the officers say, porque she was in possession of the vehicle or she was inside the driver's seat and she stepped out of the vehicle, she is in, so he used a special word with a C. I forget what it calls, a big word. Contradict, the control space, something with a C of the vehicle, therefore is grand theft auto. Pero, I mean, is it taking or theft, right? So how did the officer know she take it or theft it?
That's a great question. I would have to see that case in the court of law in order to make a ruling on that. Like I said, like the what you're saying to me is very it makes sense, like what you're saying. So I from what you're telling me, it doesn't sound like she should have been charged with grand theft. But again, I don't know what other evidence the officers had or what they had from their perspective. But like that's when I say that the law better than the officers, I mean it. It's not because I don't think the officers don't know the law. It's just we see it from a very different perspective and how it would play out in the courtroom and what would be able to be proved beyond a reasonable doubt. So if there is reasonable doubt that she took the car and maybe she was joyriding or something else, that's very reasonable. And once we get to the court system, the judge may rule one way or the other.
Well, actually, this is a very good point. So when does stuff become stacking? Porque the girl got grand theft auto and then unlawful usage of a vehicle or something like that, and reckless endangerment.
So
You
from
got a
what I
lot of-
know, I don't think there is technically anything that disallows charge stacking currently. You'd have to come to court and then say something about it.
And
Really?
yeah, and so that's the thing is like from my perspective, if an officer is giving a charge, I better see a rationale for every charge on there. And if they give
Mhm.
me the same rationale for two separate charges, I am going to pick one because I need the burden of proof for each one. If you're charging someone with something, I like that, but that's my perspective, right? And they may have a way to spin it to make it so that both charges make sense.
Yeah, but
Right, like if
I
someone has-
absolutely if someone comes into my court and tries to charge someone with like 6 different charges, all with like teetering levels of similarity. I mean, if it's bad enough, I'm gonna tell them just like, no, we're not, gonna stack on the same different thing over and over and over. We're gonna pick one, and that's what we're gonna be doing because at a point it's vindictive and it's absurd, like if someone is for example, imagine you're in a police pursuit, right? The person steals a vehicle in front of the officer and then immediately tries to run away in the vehicle, crashes into a bunch of stuff, and eventually, they hit something hard enough that they pass out in the vehicle and they get taken to the hospital. And the officer tries to charge them with grand theft auto, theft, fleeing to elude, fleeing, escaping, blah blah blah. Like if they tried to come into my courtroom with that, I would not be nice in how I spoke to them about that thought process because that's insane.
Yeah, I agree. They're fucking assholes.
I won't say that that has happened or will happen, but if it does, it's not something that would be permitted, at least in my eyes. How do you feel about that, Miss Cole?
Like I said, I'd have to see it in front of me. I don't want to make any rash judgments because, again, the cops may have a rationale for each charge, and if they can,
Oh
spin
yeah,
it
of
in a way
course,
that's
if they do have a
convincing,
reason. But
right? And if they can't, is what it is.
So,
I've
so
definitely
dímelo.
dropped charges.
Let me just make up a scenario. See, so some guy he hold up a gun to some guy in a car. He tell him, "Give me your keys." He then go in the car and he drive off with the car. Right? Officer arrest him, and the officer get him for robbery or armed robbery, porque he robbed the keys from the carrito from him. He get him with a grand theft auto, and he get him with carjacking. Is any of that stacking?
It all depends on the evidence. Like I said, if you have a rationale to argue it, go for it.
Okay. So that the spin move is how you can make it a spin.
Yeah, so yeah, basically just how you argue
Mhm.
your case and how you tell the story. That is going to be impactful in the courtroom. Because again, especially in a criminal case, the burden of proof is on the state to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. And so if there is a logistical explanation or there is reasonable doubt that can be provided, then
Oh, yes.
it can get thrown out.
That is a big thing that I think we should make most new people aware of. Because some people actually apparently don't recognize this. So in a criminal trial, like she said, the burden of proof is on the state to prove beyond a reasonable doubt what was done. However, in a civil trial, and oh my goodness, I'm gonna get the wording wrong on this, but basically, um, you have to have preponderance of evidence greater than 50% that whatever is being alleged did happen and why it should happen, right? So, for example, if someone said, "Hey, this guy ran up and punched me, and then he like threatened to fucking shoot me, and then he ran away," and you're trying to get damages for, medical bills for like a broken jaw and yeah, pain and suffering from like the mental trauma of it. All you would have to do is prove with preponderance of evidence greater than 50% to the judge that that happened and that you have a reason to be paid or what's the word?
Compensated?
Compensated. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Compensated for what happened. Restitution, so to speak.
50% is not that much.
Obviously, the higher the preponderance of evidence, the more you'd get. Like if you walked in and barely had enough to get the judge to be like, yeah, okay, that probably happened. The judge would probably be like, I don't know, I'm gonna go with a slightly lower thing here because I don't know if you can quite prove it. But it's a bit different, so to speak.
Yeah, it's basically like a more likely than not. If I see a civil case and someone has enough evidence that makes me think more likely than not that it happened, I would rule with the prosecution. If the defense makes me think more likely than not it didn't happen, I'd rule with the defense. It's very different
Yeah.
approach than the criminal cases. The criminal cases, again, like the defense definitely has an advantage because they just have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. The state has to prove
Claro.
beyond a reasonable doubt.
Oh, question. Una pregunta. The policía, do they use the dash cam, body cam, or is all statement?
It's
So
typically just statement,
body
but
cam can only be used and admissible in the court of law if it is physically on someone's body and is through the body cam's point of view or like first person point of view.
Okay,
So
claro.
if it is kind of like eyes in the sky, it will not be admissible in the court.
Okay.
and by the way, why isn't there like, guidelines that they have to wear body cam? Because it's kind of weird that they don't.
Because in order for them to get admissible body cam, it makes it extremely difficult to do their job. So if you think about how I would have to do all of my work like this in order to get usable body cam footage, and it makes it nearly impossible for them to do their pasta.
Well, right, but I mean, at the end of the day, if they need to quickly get something, they can quickly. Okay, all right, I'm recording, and then
See,
okay,
pero if you
I've
get
got that
into a
little bit.
shootout, good luck, you know?
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
well,
they're-
again, that's what I'm saying is like you don't have to capture everything, but having it there allows you to capture some things when
Well,
you
and
need
that's
to.
so that's the thing is if it's required to be on their person, it would be expected that they provide that evidence because it's available to them, which is why they made it as
down
like
front of the
a
courthouse.
it's why they have it optional. Officers are more than welcome to do
Mm.
it, but because again, doing that in any scenario, it can ruin their pasta or make it a little bit more difficult, right? It would be great for our pasta because we would get to go to court and do all the stuff, but it may limit their pasta. So that's why it's not required.
Has the government ever thought about getting like better body cams?
The government is the one who dictates what body cams are allowed in the court of law.
No, I'm saying, have they ever thought about getting like better body cams? Like ones that are like constantly running and you don't need to, do this.
I have no idea what they could do to implement that, honestly.
It's
I mean,
it's
there's
it's a big
ones out
load.
there, is what I mean.
Yeah, no, I have no idea.
True. They are quite intensive.
Sí,
Anyways,
sí.
yes. So let me look at the thing again. Okay. You know the layout, courtrooms, where to stand and sit during proceedings. Do you know where to stand and sit during proceedings?
The prosecution on the right and the defendant on the left.
Perfect. Do you know your way around the MDT and what you can and can't look at?
Sí, solamente profile and warrant if it say the warrant is open.
Actually, I do want to clarify, Miss Cole. How do we see if a warrant is technically supposed to be open or not? Because I don't see tags or labeling for anything. Oh, okay, I see.
It'll say
It's open
sealed.
unless it says seal. Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason in my head I had it that what's it called? For some reason I had it in my head that everything was sealed unless it said it was open. And I reversed it at some point in my brain, I guess. My bad. Okay. Do you know the DOJ hierarchy and who they report to and just like the whole thing?
Yeah,
with
the
that?
chief of justice, the senior judge, the judge, the district attorney, prosecutions, the public defenders, junior judge somewhere in there too, and obviously the paralegal all the way at the bottom.
All right.
So Dimelo, I shouldn't be bothering you. I should be bothering her when she get hired.
Fair, yeah, that is true. But also, you should most likely, if you can, go to Claude first, because he's the senior
Okay.
public defender.
Okay.
Miss Cole, just to clarify, did you already go over most of this with him? Am I just kind of like going through for no reason?
You're
Or
good. You're good. So we're kind of trying to expedite some of the hiring process, and so I just want to make sure we hit on all the things. Do you have any remaining questions on anything that we reviewed? Because I just want to make sure that you're confident in stepping into the role of attorney or public defender before we do the promotion. Because I know that you haven't done a ton of cell calls, but Chief Justice said if you had done a couple and you felt confident enough that we could absolutely expedite this just to ensure that we have enough active attorneys. And again,
Yeah, I mean, what's the worst case that happened? I look like a dumbass in front of the police. It's no big deal.
exactly. As long as you're willing to ask for help and get feedback and ask questions when they come up, it should be totally fine.
I asked too many questions.
Please. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, I was about to say, please ask as many questions as you can. Me and Gio and Kyle, I think we all love answering questions. I don't know much about Miss Cole here, but we all absolutely adore answering questions. So please feel free to ask literally anytime.
But you don't want me to ask one question specifically.
Huh?
Yeah, you literally said it. You don't want me to ask one question, but you love asking questions.
No, I love when other people ask questions. Like, feel free to ask any questions.
You sure? Any question?
Yeah.
You want me to ask any pregunta? Any preguntas on the table right now?
If you have any questions, then yeah. I mean,
Seguro?
obviously about DOJ, but
well, technically, honorable call it as senior judge. You see that she's taking ask any pregunta right now, right? You see that?
I don't know where this is going, but yes,
Okay,
I
dímelo.
am witness.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
God.
Dímelo. Your hair? ¿Qué pasa?
¿Qué pasa?
Yeah, what happened with your hair?
Well, if you were there for the meeting, no.
Yeah, I was there for the meeting. She said nobody
It's
asked me a
natural.
question, but you just tell me today, right now, ask you questions. So I ask you a question. You say it's a genetic adaptation. You said no,
Yeah,
no tell me
so
nada.
it's just weird, like genetic. Okay, how do I explain this?
Okay, at least.
It's a thing with pigmentation and how it kind of it fucks up. It's DNA. I don't know, dude. I didn't ask the doctor too many questions, but I was born this way and it's been like this my whole life.
Okay. So it's no, you don't want nobody to ask you why, por qué is sensitive, por qué you don't know how.
Well, no, it's not because I'm shy about it. It's because I couldn't explain it.
Okay, yeah, that's all my questions. Gracias.
All right.
Okay,
The last thing.
sweet.
What happens when someone pleads not guilty?
Ankle monitor, and I think the police here got to give them double the fine or something. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Double the fine is for their bail. So if they get caught doing crime while on an ankle monitor and while out on bail, they will forfeit that bail and be charged the full time and full fine for the crimes that they were out on bail for. So it is a big penalty if they are doing crime while out on bail. They also have 48.
And it's automatically guilty, see?
Yes, and that, I mean, again, there are very rare scenarios where this may be an exception and you can ask a judge. But most times what happens is people plead not guilty, go out and do crime, get caught again, plead not guilty, go do crime. And it's a huge cycle and they never intend on going to court. So that policy is in there to help prevent that from happening. Now, if there is a like legitimate reason, right? Someone gets caught for felony yawning, God forbid, and that's what they get caught doing while they're out on bail. That would be a reason to bring it in front of a judge and try to talk about it, because that would be something I would allow to be brought to court for both charges.
See?
If
Listen, I might become a felon soon porque I work on the farm and I milk the
I know,
cows every
I
now and
yawn
then.
so often, it's so bad.
And that too, yeah.
That's
We all
I
screwed.
yawned like 30 minutes ago, just like
so
straight up in
bad.
front of everyone.
Yeah. The other thing is they have a time limit on how long they can be out on bail for. So within 48 hours, they need to open up a lawyer request in order to coordinate with a lawyer and get working on a docket. Within 7 days of arrest, they have to have a docket open in order to get a trial scheduled. We all understand that people's lives are busy outside the city and may not be able to be in every single day. So that's why we give a little bit of leeway, but at least open the docket and get something scheduled as quickly as we can. And we try to coordinate with everyone's time schedules to make sure a judge is available to preside.
Dímelo, so when somebody on bail is no como probation, right? So the police cannot just track him down, search that possession, porque there's no probation, it's just bail, see?
Yeah, so they are on an ankle monitor, but they're, they should not be doing crime while they're on an ankle monitor. That's kind of like the biggest thing, right?
No, I just want to make sure that, porque if you're on probation, your probation officer can go find you, go search your pockets, make sure you don't do nothing stupid. But
Yeah,
if
what he's
you're on
asking is
bail, they
just
cannot search you, right?
Not
Yeah.
unless they have probable cause.
well, it depends on your terms of your probation. What he's asking basically is just, is it probation or is it bail? No, there's no probation currently.
Okay, it's only bail. Okay. You got any questions for me?
I don't think so.
The mustache is real, so you don't gotta ask that one.
All right. Thank you for clarifying. I appreciate that.
And no problem.
Hell yeah. All right, let's go get you promoted.
Okay.
Woohoo!
What do you want to be when you grow up? Attorney,
Uh,
public defender?
Attorney. Are we going down the stairs or down the elevator?
I like going down the stairs.
Okay.
It's weird.
Hopefully my knees keep up.
A little better, but this is like cell calls specifically. This is an ongoing.
Dímelo, what is the big difference between public defender and attorney?
So a private attorney is going to be someone who invoices their client. So you always, anytime you invoice a client for legal stuff, should come from the law firm app, even as a private attorney. But you can set your own rates. If you want to charge $700, I think the minimum is we recommend private attorneys charge $750 for cell calls, and that goes directly to the client. If you are a public defender, that means you would represent people who can't afford to pay an attorney, and they would you would charge the state or the law firm or DA's office for the cell call.
I see. What are the bueno? what are the roles and responsibilities? Porque if I'm a private attorney, it's my own like law firm type of thing, so I don't gotta go crazy. But if I'm a public defender, I gotta do a lot of work. See?
Both, honestly, it's same kind of workload, I would say. Right, as a public defender, you can take on or decline cases. The biggest thing is if you are available for a cell call, you should attend the cell calls. But again, you're guaranteed payment by the state. If you are a private attorney and the client declines payment, then you don't have to represent them, but they also won't be paying you.
Okay. Gracias.
Yeah, no problem.
So I change my information on the radio.
Absolutely. And
Do I put
please,
private attorney or just attorney?
you can do attorney. Like I said, that gives you do as a public defender, you're limited on how much you can charge for things as like a standard rate. As a private attorney, if you want to charge $20,000 for a name change, I'm not going to tell you what to charge. You are your own boss.
Okay. Beautiful.
Hell
Thank you
yeah.
so much.
No problem.
Procedural question, Your Honor, if you got the minutes.
Absolutely.
Oh, should you want me to step out? You guys can do your talking.
Oh no, this is probably it may be something that you hadn't picked up or what we went running past on the way from there to here.
Oh,
So I've got
Guillermo, go ahead
I
and put
picked
in
up
the role
a
requests that you
civil
Guillermo,
case.
go ahead and do in the role request too that you want to be a private attorney before I forget.
Easy. Yes.
So sorry.
All right.
Yes, go ahead.
No worries. Picked up a civil case, talked to the fella, and I reviewed his lawyer request, and so it's going to be against LSPD. So now I need to open up a docket, correct?
Your client should always open up the docket.
Okay, the client should. Okay.
Yes, and you will want to have your like civil charges or your civil complaint ready to go, and all of that good stuff.
All right, and I need to subpoena for the police report. I don't go to the MDT myself to look for that, correct?
Yes, that is correct. You should
Okay.
not be looking at cases. Kind of goes just for both of you. You should not be able to look at cases. I know, like, physically, if you went through there, you could, but you're not supposed to look at cases or reports. You really shouldn't be looking at people's profiles, unless there's like limited reasons why you can.
Oh, no.
And then there is like the warrants that you are not sealed, you can look at, but the ones that say sealed, you're not supposed to look at. You can look at the
I got
penal
a
codes and stuff
question.
too. Yeah.
But so let's say I go talk to the policia, and I ask him, hey, you arrest my cliente, what you arrest him on? Okay, he don't know. The policia guy, he look up the report in front of me, or share it, but he tell me, oh, this is empty, there's nothing here, it's a piece of shit, nobody do it, what the fuck? So then I go subpoena, right? And then when after 2, 3, 4, 5 days I subpoena, I get it back and it's all filled out. Is that okay? Like, do the officer have like whenever they feel like it to fill out the report?
No. So anything that's subpoenaed, there's a time limit on how quickly it should be turned around. And if that isn't turned around and it goes to court and the subpoenaed evidence hasn't been provided, the judge does take that into accountability.
Okay. What's the timeline on the subpoena?
I believe it's 24 to 48 hours. It just kind of depends.
Okay.
I know, like right now, we'll probably give Nala a little bit more grace because she just stepped into the role as DA and is having to pick up a lot on top of what she was already doing. So we'll probably give her a little bit longer, but yeah.
And the fishing license, I know we got it porque the meeting, pero for the general public, what do we do?
Right now, those are just temporary. I think we're just working on like an official one. I was just handing them out to y'all so that you had at least something in case the officers come a bugging.
Okay. Now I'm afraid if I show this to a cop, now you're gonna go to everybody else and be like, "Where's your license?" You know, you're gonna fucking find it.
Yeah, you can just say that it's like a temporary one that the DOJ is working on. We're trying to get like an official one so that I can hopefully like post it for anyone to utilize. But yeah, it'll probably end up being like $100 license fee.
Okay. And the documentation that you signed para me for the officiant, do I just leave it there now that it's signed, or do I need to save it somewhere so I can pull it up later?
I will have to double check to see if I posted it in the signed documents or not yet. I may not have, just because I think I was doing like a ton of things. But it'll go into the filed court ordered documents. And if I didn't tag you there, I'll make sure I tag you so that you can save the copy of it if you want. But it'll be there.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you.
All right. So once that docket's been opened, the actual subpoenas, do I fill them out and submit them to the court for a judge to review, sign, and get where it needs to go, or how does that work?
Yeah, so you'll submit that to request judge's signature, and then a judge will review it, sign it, and then post it in the filed court order documents and notify the correct party. If it is a civil case, like in city, if you're suing person to person, we will ask the attorney to serve that subpoena to the other party.
Okay.
We gotta hunt them down, huh? Like a dog, the bounty hunter.
Absolutely.
And then you get to tell them you've been served once you hand them the paperwork.
Yes.
Oh man. Quick story. I once a guy was appealing his best friend's wedding. Oh man, the documentation was beautiful. And and the reasoning for was violations of the bro code, etc. It was very roly poly, the whole affair. And they were also intoxicated, so there is that, the two that got married. So anyway, serving the papers was funny. He put in a food request, and I was dressed as a food delivery guy, and gave him the food and then his subpoena. Got to drop the "you've been served." Felt good, man. Yeah, fun times. They got a kick out of it. There may have been a shooting at the wedding, but everybody was okay, and they had happy day.
That's good.
I love it when a plan comes together. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Dímelo, I gotta go get some food, but if you should need anything from me, you let me know, okay?
Roger that.
Here, let me give you some food because that's going to expire on me.
Beautiful. Thank you. Muchas gracias.
No problem.
Okay, so I see the format now that I'm in
Mm.
request judge's signature. Oh, well, thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
So we dropped
You gotta
subpoenas.
drink with the pozole. My throat's a little dry.
Oh, did I not give you? Oh, yeah. Here you go.
Gracias. Thank you.
No problem.
There's a document per the naming convention for the tickets.
Yes, for the lawyer request tickets there are. It is there. It took me forever to find it, but I know it's there because I found it. It's in the DOJ document somewhere. It's like a ticket naming or something like that.
So real quickly, because this is fresh in the dome today, you'll notice that they start with OC or CC. That's open case, closed case. And the next subset is CV or CR, or civil or criminal. And then the next set of initials are the initials of the folks working on the case. And then the number.
First name, last name.
Mm-hmm. And then that
And then-
that number is the ticket number.
Oh, claro. Okay.
I get it right?
Absolutely.
All right. I'm not trying to punch above my pay grade, so
Oh,
to
no,
speak.
you're
I'm just
good.
making sure I remember this crap.
I usually
It's
just
not.
say
It's not
refer
crap.
to the
It's a lot of
document.
stuff. Right.
To be fair, I don't rename those tickets, and so I always am like, just look it up on the document and use your resources. I am not the type of person that requires you to memorize every single thing, right? As long as you know how to utilize your resources and use them efficiently, I don't care if you forget. It's all good as long as you know how to look it up and fix it, and you can do all the things that you need to do when you need to do them. Everything's kosher. I don't care. It's all good.
Good deal.
But yes, please, if you would like to do some of the tickets that are unclaimed, feel free to help
Mhm.
yourself. You can take on as much or as little as you can depending on your schedule. Like I said,
Right.
I think I've said to both of you before, the main goal of the tickets is just to help coordinate a time in city that you can do stuff.
Good deal.
All right.
This one's interesting. This guy had a pretty generous, I feel, settlement offer already, and him and his prior counsel walked away from it because he wants his day in court. He wants he wants a finger shaking at the officer.
Hell yeah.
That's right. Sometimes justice costs a lot, but we got to pay it.
All right. Well, if y'all think of anything, feel free to reach out to your other attorneys. Claude is a senior public defender who's been doing this forever. So if you have any court-related questions, logistic questions, you can always ask him as well. So he is a resource to use.
Roger that.
Hell yeah. I'm probably going to fly out very shortly, but if you think of anything, you let me know. I'm just going to check and make sure Claude and Giovanni don't need anything. They are probably still yapping in the same spot.
Yep.
I'm bleeding.
What?
What?
You're what?
I'm bleeding. Ow.
This, I know it's the time of the month, but you don't gotta tell nobody.
It's like,
your
it's my, I
private
think my
life.
foot is like got blisters or something.
Oh, I thought you meant the other thing.
Oh no, hopefully I don't pass out. I just ate and
I
drank.
offered you a bandage, but I don't got one.
Yeah, I'll see. Maybe if EMS comes by, I'll ask them for a band-aid.
Anybody know whose car that is?
I believe that is the judge the judge in training we were talking to. I forgot her name. Aaron Rogers.
Aaron, yeah.
Okay. Because it smacked me nearly to death. But it wasn't.
Jesus.
Yep. It was parked on the side there. Well, you see the skid marks. Somebody came through and hit it that fast. I was about here. And
well, I'm gonna go now. You guys have a fun time. Hopefully you don't die from your foot.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. You have a good ass night.
Okay, goodbye.
We'll catch up with you later.
Allowed consistent,
That won't solve anything. And the reason why they were dropped in the first place historically is because body cam leads to shitty report writing and laziness. They just lean on, well, I had body cam the whole thing. They did it. It's captured here on body cam. And that's why the AG's directed to how they're used now.
Well,
the reason I want an exception specifically for civil accountability is only for civil accountability. So there's no arguing back and forth. Like if you did something blatant, there's no other way for somebody to prove that other than if this civil accountability allows it. And it reduces the reason to lie because everybody's going to assume if I fucked up, somebody saw it, right?
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, with what you said about, shitty report writing, at the end of the day, if you're writing shitty reports, no matter the reason, you don't need to be employed with the LSPD. I mean, with all due respect, as someone who was
we would lose
high
90%
command
of
for
the
a
police
long
force.
time.
Yeah, they'd be gone.
Yeah.
And
Which,
to be
I mean,
blunt, there's a reason why I was wrongfully imprisoned, and the main person involved with that still employed there because they don't care. They'd rather just pay out. They let egregious constitutional violations slide based off of who it is. Because
right.
when I was arrested, Ricci wanted to press criminal charges. He was told no.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I don't understand it, but I mean, hey, we've had this happen before. Michael had 4 officers hired last year. Sorry, 4 officers fired last year. I don't know how it shouldn't be this, especially how expendable PD is. They have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of applications.
It's no different here than when you go to your apartment and think about it. It becomes a old boys club, and people look out for one another. And
Right.
Mm-hmm.
if you're in
Everyone's
favor, you can
playing
get away with a lot
elephant
more
chain.
than, if you just got hired last week. Hell yeah, they'll fire you in a heartbeat to set an example out of you. But if you're a tenured officer and you get a lot of arrests and stuff, well, maybe we just overlook the fact that you completely disregarded somebody's rights here, unfortunately. But I don't know, man. That's why I keep in my lane. I leave
I'm here to
plenty
have
of
a fun.
opportunities for these other attorneys to get opportunities to make money, B, go to court, B, get clients. I haven't gone after any private client. There's one other client outside of Hookies that I've had discussions with. That's it. That means all these attorneys have these places you can go for retainers. And I'm a public defender. I shouldn't be aggressively going after those. But it's just like it recently it feels like it ends up falling on 1 or 2 people to cover the bulk of everything. And hopefully this new batch of attorneys be a little bit more aggressive on it. But as far as judges, if you hear anybody complain they're broke, get out and fucking work. Justin, how come you only got $2,000 in your bank account? Get out and fucking work. Like, it's not hard, man. People come to me, stuff falls in my lap that I don't even, like a name change. We make money off a name change. I'll let anybody under the sun do a name change before me. I'm not like pushing people out of the way to do that. That's easy money.
I mean, I will say,
That's
with
something
my
I wanted to
time-
clarify. Giovanni,
What's happening?
if someone has a record, they can't do a name change?
Depends on so the current rule now, especially this year, is things are a little bit different than last year. Last year they needed a clean record
Yeah.
because
It's just so
that's
hard
how
to
the
change
system
over.
worked. Yeah,
But this
that
is
was
like
well. No, if you had a name change, it will like last
Clean
year it
your
would
record.
expunge your record
Yeah,
no
yeah.
matter what. This one, your name carries over to the criminal
Yes.
charges you have. Now,
Okay.
in regards to pasta, um, the rule of thumb, and I'm hoping the judges didn't overlook this because the change of power for Abijah,
I paid
things kind
attention.
of got a little weird. But in terms of what judges should do is if someone is requesting a name change and they have an outstanding record, having a bunch of felonies and stuff like that, it should be denied and they should have an expungement. If they have only a few misdemeanors here and there, they're nonviolent, then you can give a name change, no hearing, no expungement hearing. But it's mainly the felonies. If they have felonies, major felonies, they need to have an expungement hearing, or at least have a hearing explaining why they need a name change, et cetera, et cetera. Marriage licenses, they don't need to have any expungement since they're
What
only
about
changing their last
adoptions?
name. Adoptions are bullshit. They're fucking bullshit.
Okay.
I
I agree, but it's money in my pocket when they want to change.
So I
their
say
name.
I got
yeah,
money
no,
from that.
if they're getting adopted, they shouldn't.
Yeah.
If they're adults, their name's not going to change. That's
Yeah.
not what adoptions
Okay.
do.
But like to respond to Claude though,
I'll
I
say
put
people
in
are
a
requesting
lot of time.
name changes for adoptions.
Yeah. In terms of adoptions, really don't need a name change. Claude can adopt me. I'll still be Giovanni Belmont.
Yeah,
Just
I agree.
legally, he is technically my guarantor. Like if he wants to do a family like an insurance plan or something like that, or a benefits plan, or for example, he dies.
So
His,
do
you
you?
know, does that make sense?
Yeah,
That's
no,
what
it
gets
makes
the
sense. And when people come begging for a name change because of an adoption or because they want to start over and have like a new name, I guess like
yeah.
if they are begging me for a name change, because I will say I did 2 name changes for an adoption because they wanted to match the last name of the person who adopted them.
That's fine.
And
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? If you want to pay for it, here you go. It's money in my pocket. It's money in the lawyer's
Yeah.
pocket, and we can do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. No, it's not
Okay.
required, but it's if they want to, that's fine. Yeah. They
Okay.
can have a
I
name
was
change for
yeah.
any reason. Yeah.
That's kind of what I was like. As long as they give me a valid reason, I'll go through
Yeah.
with it. I will say I did the felony thing. No one told me that. And since everything transferred to the MDT, I just tell them if you have any charges, they're gonna follow you.
Right. So yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
just make sure they don't have any violent felonies or a lot of felonies. That's when we need a hearing. Other than that, if
Hmm.
they just have misdemeanors, nonviolent, if they're very small, like a very small, uh, you know, very small record, then you don't need an expungement for that. But
All
the
right.
AG definitely wants the pasta of, hey, you need to earn this name change
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. That makes
You
sense.
don't, because people are just gonna get money, whatever. Um, I mean, it doesn't matter if I have a criminal record or not. If I change my name and go get plastic surgery, they're just gonna see another person with a record, right? They're not gonna associate the name with the record.
True.
Imagine Duke Tucker doing that every
That's true.
Tuesday. Like,
So,
it's one thing to
so
have a big record, but it's another thing knowing that person who did those charges. You know what I mean? So that's what
Yeah,
AJ
yeah,
wants.
that makes sense.
Yeah. What's going on? What's happening, Amber?
I sorry, what I was trying
No,
to
you're
say
good.
is, Claude, on the topic of, just be around and go get stuff, you have no excuse to be broke. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I didn't go fishing and go slaughter cows and do all that kind of stuff, I'd have zero money to my name. I spent probably the most amount of time out of anyone other than Raj on duty doing stuff. I spent hours and hours and hours. I spent 20, 30, 40, sometimes 50 hours a week, and I was making literally nothing. I was
How many
barely having enough for food.
How many businesses did you talk to about representation?
We weren't told about that. That's the thing. When I was hired, I wasn't told about anything like that. That's why I'm now telling people about it. You were the one who told me that public defenders could do things like that. That's the issue, is that they not only were we not told about every way we could make money, even with those ways of making money, it's still not get. There's only so many businesses that are going to need representation. There's only so many people that are going to need representation, and we're hiring dozens of people. At one point or another, there's gonna be more financial issues for people who just simply aren't able to be around as much, aren't as able to immediately tackle something. They aren't as sociable, and they shouldn't suffer because of that.
Yeah, they will suffer. And no, there's not. Off of one client plus whatever cell calls I do, which I just went over that with Judge Belmont. I've only done 49, and I will usually set if I'm in city for 6 to 8 hours, I'll set 3 to 4 aside where I make sure I'm available on radio to do cell calls. I own over $100,000 between a boat and one truck from one client. I have money in my bank account, nothing to do with the settlement I got from the state. Haven't touched a nickel of that. Yes, I also go out and fish. Yes, I also go out and farm because I fill my empty time. But I'm also not approaching any people as a client. I've had people ask me to take them on retainer, and I've told them no. So sorry, if you're not sociable, you're not going to get clients. Part of being an attorney is getting out and talking to people so they want you to represent them.
Yes, as
So
an
either you
attorney, but not a public defender. And as a public
public
defender, you shouldn't
defenders,
rely on doing
Yeah,
civil
so
work just to get by.
the biggest thing about this year is the fact that we don't have money handouts like we used to. In terms of how we started this year, right? Um, Public and private attorneys are kind of meshed into one fucking thing, right? It's just like there's really very little difference between a private attorney and a public attorney this year.
Mhm.
the difference is we get paid by the state and it costs nothing for a cell call.
Exactly.
So anybody can ask for us on a cell call. Really, outside of that, there's not a huge difference.
Exactly.
But
Short of
criminally, the state any criminal cases, the state pays you. In regards to people not being sociable, like the one thing I'm fine with handouts is like, how much is one food, one drink typically?
350.
300 to 400.
$400.
$400.
Yeah,
God
Hardy
damn.
Yeah.
Taco is expensive as
Southside
shit.
charges 450 sometimes.
Right.
Yeah,
so
that's
now,
if you drive out of town, it's never more than 3. They charge more in town.
right.
Yeah.
So now in terms of
You just eating that whole
like
fish?
given, yep.
It's crazy.
Head and all.
Here's the thing about you white people. You're too privileged to understand the struggle.
No, I respect
and
it.
y'all are all focused on,
Sorry, you just-
look at this head. That's free real estate. I got a full fish, head included, for 100. You talking about $400 for
Sorry,
some
it's just
fish? Are you
you
kidding me?
just
The
downed
reason
it
why
head
Gio,
first.
you want to
You
say
just downed it head first.
Gio, I wanted to be
however-
known. I'm Cajun.
fork and
I am
knife.
very much
if I'm gonna buy a fish, I'm gonna eat the whole fish. What you talking about?
exactly.
Yeah, but
You're
you can at
gonna-
least
why are
chew.
you
You don't
wasting
just
food?
gotta
Yeah,
swallow it.
you just downed that whole
He
thing.
did chew
You were
it.
eat-
I literally
talking
watched
while
his mouth
eating it.
move.
Yeah, I literally chewed it. Y'all are fucking tripping. Y'all are tripping.
I don't know.
You can't talk while eating.
I talk
No.
all
Well,
you
No,
know.
like I
don't
was
know. That
like
was
I
a
was
big-ass
saying
fish.
is
no,
at the end of the day, a
You're
public
good.
attorney should not rely on private attorney responsibilities such as networking just to get by. A public attorney's job is to represent criminals in criminal trials. You shouldn't have to network just to do that.
That's a systematic issue that cannot be fixed. So
Yeah, that's the big thing. It's a system. Like, I get what you're
Right,
saying.
and I'm not
but
saying
yeah.
that like it's our job to fix it. I'm just saying you can't sit there and say that they're lazy just because they come into the job thinking, okay, my job as a public defender is to represent criminals, and
Right.
then
All right.
they spend a week
So
or two doing that, and they're like, "Fuck, I'm really broke. What do I do?" You can't
How
just
many
sit there and
public-
shit talk them.
Yeah. How many public defenders have we had outside of me at any given time that are active? You stand in here. I've never seen more than one other active public defender more than maybe a day when there's like promotions or something. They're not. Most go private. And it's like, I just gave the example. We just had a court trial with Justin Jacks. He's a private attorney. He's been doing it for a while. I see him in dockets. I see him in attorney requests in there. But I leave stuff intentionally open that anybody can have. And I don't do civil stuff. You can do civil stuff. But like there's one that's been sitting there that Judge Cole just requested somebody hop on. It's a layup. It's a settlement with the state. And I did the cell call for the guy and I said, hey, brother, I don't do focus on civil stuff. I focus on criminal. But going to emails, this is such a layup. I handed it to Buck at first. Buck passed away. But I watched these cases there where nobody even attempts to hear it out. I'm like, this is a layup. I'm busy. My time is full, right? I don't need all this. But there's people that are just like, they sit outside of DOJ and chat all day long. They're like, man, I don't have any money. Well, did you post on Birdie? Did you make any ads on Birdie? I post up every day. I post up consensual right violation sheets, and I put it on Birdie. People know who I am. Again, I just literally turned somebody down yesterday. I said, brother, I don't think I can fit somebody else on as a retainer. If I did, it would cost him more than he'd want to pay me.
Right,
It's not hard with the effort. And I hear what you're saying is you had a different perspective of what being a public defender would be. And if I didn't explain well when you spent time with me, I apologize for that. But
no, you did great. I'm saying it should be made more known, like as soon as you're hired. Every single paralegal that I've come across, I've
To be
told what
fair,
you've told me.
That is what the
Because-
shadowing days are for.
Yeah.
Right. In regards to public defenders, I get it. Private attorneys
Yeah, their whole job is
they're the ones that are actually complaining. It's Justin Jacks, it's the other private attorneys that are like, hey, I'm broke. There's nothing I can do. Buck's taking this is before he passed away, RIP. Buck's taking all of my cases. And you decided to be a private attorney, right? Private attorney is business. You're all are business. Public attorneys, I get you're righteous. You're here for rights, whatever, right? Public attorneys are different than private attorneys. Private attorneys are in it for the money. They're supposed to be greedy, but they're not doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
we got
they don't want to
private
take
attorneys.
losing cases. Take a losing
You just
case, just charge them
take-
out the ass.
That's what I'm
Yes.
saying. You're gonna say,
People
hey,
aren't
we're gonna lose this.
charging.
You're gonna lose this case, but you sure you want to take it? You want to take your chances? We got about 10% chance of winning, and I ain't going in this court case without no money. So you're gonna hand me my money.
I
Exactly.
tell
Yeah.
people that.
And I don't know. I just think at the end of the day, though, I still don't think you should be talking down to people saying that,
Nah, I get that. Yeah. Well, instead of talking down, it's mainly just being like, hey, you have this complaint. This is the solution.
yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
solution.
Well,
If you can't handle the
I-
solution, then there's nothing.
I hear you.
Yeah, I
but
think it's
have
just the
been
wording.
here. Well, and I won't hold back on that. I've been here since the storm. I've watched people keel over in DOJ meetings because they don't have food. They aren't fishing. They aren't farming. They aren't doing shit. They're not getting clients. And I figure it out. All right. And if you need help, ask somebody for like, hey, how can you make money? I've told people before, hey, you're hard up. Come up here and do some farming or go catch some fish. I'll make sure you get paid over at Hookies. They're my client. If they're not there to buy it from you, I'll pay you and I'll give it to them for you so you can get some money. But I will tell you right now, the majority of people that I've seen in DOJ that say they're broke are not making efforts that you made. I understand you went out and fished, you went out and farmed. The majority are not. So it may be harsh, but also if you dealt with Mr. Ricci much, I'm very similar to him where I was raised where we don't pad
Don't put
stuff.
yourself
We don't
down
make
like that.
everybody feel like they're getting a hug or a participation
Right,
trophy.
right.
I just said how it fucking is, sister. And
I'm sorry.
for better or worse, that may rub some people the wrong way. But I just I call it how I see it, and I don't kid glove stuff.
And that's
So
why
now, to be fair, hasn't been a lot of bitching recently. Like there hasn't been a lot of bitching recently about how people don't have any money, and it's usually almost all of them I think were private attorneys that were complaining about it, and I'm just like, Buck had almost all the business in the city. If you're a private attorney, go to any one of them and say, hey, you're going to be my only client. What does Buck charge you? I'll do the same thing, but you're my only client. I won't take on anybody else. I know for a fact the least amount of money Buck was charging was $8,000 a month, and the most was 14 grand. You can eat and have money in your pocket for an entire month off of $8,000, and you're not going to die or starve. You're not going to be driving a Lambo. But you're also with any of these clients, you're not in court 24/7 for them. So most private attorneys could probably have 3 to 4 decent sized clients and still have free time to do whatever they want and have plenty of money in their pockets. It just, it's not going to
Speaking
get
of,
handed
yeah.
to them.
But big thing like that I like to tell people, especially out of city, right? Aaron, whenever you were an attorney and you said you were here for 50 hours a week or something like that, right?
Yeah.
How
I mean,
much
at the most, but
well, how many of those hours were you spent doing your job?
I mean, waiting around to do my job, like actually making documents, speaking with people. What do you mean?
Yeah, just like doing your job, talking to clients, getting legal shit taken care of. Any legal
Uh,
shit, any DOJ shit.
If it was a good like 40-hour a week, it'd probably be a good like 15, 18, somewhere in there.
Right. So the other half you can spend like for me, like it can be spent grinding for more money, or it could be spent
Exactly.
doing some fun shit, right? It is what it is. In terms of, I don't think I've had, like for me, like I've never had more than $10,000 in my bank account, not once coming in here.
What do you drive?
What do I drive? I'll show
Do
you.
you
You know
drive?
what? Yeah, come on.
I don't think I've ever seen him
Little
behind
truck.
a wheel.
Yeah.
You always got that look on your face
Oh God, what look?
where you're staring off like you got something real crazy going on in your head.
Huh. You just buckle a seatbelt? Was that outside just very loud?
No, yeah, seatbelts are very
Jeez.
loud.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm starting to get real hungry.
Wait, do that look again. Do that one where you're already like,
This one?
yeah, know what I think's going on?
God damn it. God damn it. Oh god, I'm so sorry, I just tripped. My bad. My apologies. It must be wet in here.
Oh Jesus! I didn't know you felt about me like that.
God damn it, that's not what I
Damn.
meant. That's god damn it. I said it and I immediately regretted my decision. God damn it. Are they stealing a car
Man, I'm
right now?
telling for. Yep.
Alright.
Well, you have fun. You're leaving soon, aren't you?
I am. I have to go make dinner.
Yeah, I gotta go farming. I need more vegetables.
Ah,
And
yes.
I'm sorry. I know it may rub her the wrong way, but I'm just. I was around for too much of people crying about not having money, and I'm just like, you're not putting effort into this. Like,
And I am very much I want people to figure it out. Like I want them to pasta it out however they want. If I have to tell them word for word how to do it, they're not gonna make it. You know, they gotta figure it out. They gotta ask the questions, get to know other people. I do a pretty good job, like thoroughly explaining stuff, and I give them a lot of information all at once. And I know they don't remember most of it because a lot of the things people complain about, I tell them, they just don't remember.
I will tell you, I'm 99% sure, specifically with Rogers, I told her exactly how I make my money when she was deciding whether she wanted to go public or private.
And that's
And I
why I
said the
always tell
majority
them.
of it was from one client.
I said, go ask the people and ask, like, if you want to do public defending, ask Quad. Go talk to him about why he chose public over private. If you have a special area, go shadow them. But I think people are so speedrunning trying to check off their list, they're not actually asking the questions. Which, again, if that's what they want to do, then they can do it.
All right. Yeah, that's right. It's their life to live, not mine.
Yeah, I don't want to
They don't-
micromanage.
They don't have to listen to me.
God damn
I
it,
wonder if
Belmont's
mine's
rich.
still here.
Alright.
It's like maybe
You
15
stay safe, drive safe, farm safe. Don't get arrested for illegal milking.
and
Oh,
that's, like,
man, I
running
can't drive
vehicle
over the
repairs and things
bushes.
like that.
That's kind of crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I can drive over the retaining wall, though. This thing ain't shit.
Jesus Christ.
Immediately crashed into something. Christ. Oh, and he crashed into another thing.
His car.
Your car's smoking.
Yeah, she's smoking a little.
I might have took it down Chiliad not too long ago, maybe.
Jesus.
Hell yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go to bed. You all have a good
Alright.
ass night.
Sleep well.
All right. Have a
Yeah,
good
it's
one.
cold.
Who would be marking down my shadow, by the way?
I'll mark it on the chat.
Oh.